Are you vegan? What are your views on animal agriculture? So I don't want to be anything. No, it's to be something like to belong to the club, the vegan club. It's too much. It's too much dogma. It's too much weight. It's too much again. It's us and them. And now you have to be like this, and so you gotta like force it or prove to be this or that. No, it's too much. I eat a simple diet of whole food and plant-based whole food, we call it. Since I was first turned on to this when I was about 15 years old, 16 years old, and it just felt natural to me. No, I never felt to eat animals, and for me personally, it's not something that I have any interest in doing. Now, as far as the veganism, right, they have a lot of more specific things too. Now, do I think that death is bad? No. For sure, life and death are one and the same. And in order for things to be born, then life has to die. This is an endless cycle of life and death. No, it's the decaying matter of life which creates the topsoil which grows into new life. And so to try to impose veganism on all people or all species, this species, no, you shouldn't eat like this, you should eat like that. Right, it's crazy, it's too much. But once we start to get into this trying to convert other people or making other people wrong or fighting the war, then it starts to become a whole nother thing. So each person has to go on their own journey of discovering the relationship between food and basic health, between food and our thoughts, our mood, our energy levels. And that's a whole journey of reconnecting with life. No other species is confused about what to eat. No, every other species on the planet knows exactly what to eat. But mostly the humans and any animal that's been kept in captivity by human, then there's some confusion. We've lost our natural flow, natural wisdom. And so we have to go on a process of discovery through practices like fasting, through practices like limiting our intake of food or excluding certain foods and then experimenting and putting it back in our diet to see how we feel. Especially if we can prepare our own food. This is number one. Whatever we make, if we can prepare it ourselves, then there's such a connection and vibration. A second is to chew our food when we eat it. No, whatever food we eat, if we're actually chewing it, no, and then there's a deeper process of communion. Communion means oneness. We're one with the food. Whatever we eat becomes us. But it's not just the food that what we eat that becomes us, but also what we're eating with our eyes and ears, what we're eating with our senses. Right? If we're constantly feeding ourselves with the fighting and aggression and yelling and cursing and sexuality like that's what becomes us too. We're in communion not only with the physical food we're eating with our mouth, but with the food that we're eating through our eyes and ears and through our mind and all of this. So the vegan, just what food we're eating, really what we're talking about is redefining our relationship with life. No, to conscious living. This is the dharmic living, or conscious living. And so that's a journey and a process. Each person must experiment with themselves. No, agriculture, the way that agriculture developed through our ancestors and then herding animals and then animal farming, this is a whole trajectory that goes far beyond the scope of just us here and now today. Of course, when we look at the practices of torturing animals, and filling them with chemicals and hormones, and then, that I don't know who would want to partake in that system of abuse. No, the food is filled. The meats in the stores are filled with this fear and torture and abuse. Why would we want to nurture ourselves with that? It's not. This is, yeah. But again, the life is so diverse, and there are many different ways of living and being traditionally in a society. But in the modern time, with supermarkets and all of this conveniently anything, anywhere, anytime, as much as we want. Right now, it's so out of balance. So we need to establish a healthy framework, a healthy foundation within our body, a healthy foundation in relation to time, waking, sleeping, eating, in relation to expressing ourselves, and personal time and creative time and family time and like this.